Hello everyone, this is Mert and I'm making this video for you from my office. I had this short time and I'll try to explain to you how to start doing fasting, and for those especially who are still beginners. And so this video is done over a question asked from my friend. She wanted to have some tips and find out what's the best way to start fasting and how you actually do that. So you have to allocate yourself a period of time where you adopt this specific way of eating by actually following some sort of plan. So that's obviously for some it's easier, for some it won't be, but you will eventually get there. So it depends on your body type and your health. It will all make a difference. So let's say you're a beginner, you don't know anything about fasting and how it works. So simply is basically for those who start fasting is from the time you stop eating until the time you actually consume food. So in between you can consume some sort of drinks or juices that will actually not increase your insulin level. By saying that, I would say stick with, so as far as I know, stick with like black coffee and black tea, herbal tea without actually sweeteners. And I would be careful with that because there are some sweetening factors in it that might trigger your insulin even slightly, so that will actually break your fast. So, and then finally you can have some lemon juice without any additives inside again. So that's the start point. The second thing is when you should do your fasting. The best time to do your fasting is obviously when you sleep. When you're asleep, you've already started your sleep diet fasting, and from the time you wake up, you prolong your fasting going up in the day and until you just feel like you're ready to eat. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing for those who fast, because we're not actually doing a calorific deficit here. What we do here is actually giving your body time to recover, and so once your body runs out glycogen in your blood, then it can tap into your fat reserves, which is when you start burning fat. And this will take time because your body also needs to learn how to use fat. So I would suggest doing low carb, high fat diet, depending on your calorific requirement. But I would say keeping it high won't actually cause any fat gain, provided you eat well. So when I say you eat well, is those types of food without any additives in it, plus a lot of vegetables. And I would say keep your protein intake moderate. You don't have to worry. Even I take less than every day. I take less than 100 grams myself, maybe roughly say 70 to 80 grams, which might not be enough for most people, but I think that's just good enough for me, so I don't need to eat more. And that again comes with the efficiency of using the protein in your body correctly. All right, the next step is when you should break your fast. So I would suggest the purpose of this is to keep the insulin levels low, to be able to have the insulin sensitivity and keep it start thinking of breaking your fast before you actually feel very hungry if you're in the beginning of it. is this way you will allow your body to go into very relaxed mode, that you won't actually damage any sort of like you won't trigger your cortisol hormone, which might come with stress of being hungry, and then this way your body will next time less hungry and will know that the food will come in time. So I would do that as well. So give yourself, for ladies it's a bit different because ladies have more hormones than men, so it's not as simple for women, but you can still keep your insulin level low by eating healthily and still giving yourself time, and so you can fast. But before you break your fast, the most important thing also, what you can eat, is one of the very critical points that needs to be talked about. So when you're about to break your fast is when you're most sensitive to any food you eat. So I would suggest eat the most delicious, by means of healthy food that will go into your body, that you'll feel that's good for you, that's really healthy. I would look into it separately because I'm not a nutritionist, but look into it. So this type of food you can have for your body to actually make the most of it. So eat healthily. I would say eat a lot of vegetables. It cannot possibly kill you unless you have allergies or anything else. So do that. Okay, the next thing is when to eat. So normally people say do fasting from 12 hours to 16 hours, and you know, as you progress, you know, you can prolong your fasting, and actually prolonged fasting is also very beneficial for you because it's doing a lot of cleansing in the body as well. So try that in the next stage, but I would say stick with this fasting and eating healthily for at least 4 weeks to understand where your body is standing and how it's feeling. But another thing, very important thing, is that you should absolutely be aware of feeling the fatigue in the beginning and try to go through that. But the most important thing, then you should actually consume more, maybe sodium, check that with your doctor as well, and also your potassium intake, which is very important, which will you consume from your vegetables. All right.